Welcome to Libertus. I make videos about historical facts. If you like my content, you can support me by liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing. Thank you. I mentioned pyramids in one of my previous videos. Pyramids have always been considered a connection between the earth and the sky across various beliefs since ancient history. Think of ziggurats or pyramids. All these structures were built by people who believed they were connected to the sky or who calculated how to connect to the sky. Interestingly, most of the people involved in constructing these structures participated with desire and enthusiasm. Stairs have been an important symbol since the earliest times, from the most primitive tribes to the most advanced civilizations. Whether in Eastern or Western culture, even among the Aztecs and Mayans, the importance of stairs and steps is evident. Stairs or step structures were crucial motifs used by rulers to show their subjects that they were connected to the sky. The topmost parts of these structures, many of which were centers of worship, often served as tombs for gods or kings. For a king, the period of struggle in this life was over. His deeds were recorded, and he would remain there until his resurrection, symbolizing a way to reach the God who resides in the heavens. As we research further, we witness that this belief manifests differently in every society. The steps in these beliefs should not be imagined as a literal staircase, but as a spiritual path with different meanings for each step. When examining the subject of Miraj in Islam, commentators are divided. Some view the event as a miracle, while others argue from a rationalist perspective, considering the Miraj event metaphorical rather than a material narrative. In Islamic history, some argue that this belief is a spiritual expression. According to Islamic history, the Miraj took place during the year of sorrow, the year in which both the uncle and the wife of the Arab prophet died. This is generally believed to be the 10th year of revelation. Scholars say that the polytheists had cut off their relations with the Muslims to exert moral pressure, which was later resolved. However, before they could rejoice, Arab prophet faced the deaths of his wife and uncle, who had been his protector. Some sources record that the prophet's son also died during this time, causing him great distress, and that the polytheists mocked him with the term barren. Following this, some commentators believe he went to Taif to deliver his message, but according to Ibn Hisham, he went to find a patron. In previous videos, we discussed the importance of patronage. The Arab prophet went to Taif, sought help from his mother's relatives, and asked them to patronize him, but they refused. He then stayed in Aqaba for a certain period, where, according to Islamic history, the first and second Aqaba allegiances took place. After enduring such a difficult period, the event of Miraj occurred. Miraj represents ascension, even resurrection, and the embrace of God, a concept not unique to Islamic narrative. This idea also appears in the Old Testament. However, the source I'm referring to is closer to the time of Islam. During the reign of Justinian I in Byzantium, monophysite debates were prevalent, with many discussions occurring, including participation from Justinian himself. Some works opposing monophysite thought were translated into Syriac and Arabic, leaving traces of this mindset. Around the 6th century in the Eastern Roman Empire, many monks preferred solitary lives in monasteries, away from ambition and struggle. This is the root of the word monk, mono. The writings of these monks later led to a movement called hagiography. Saints were described in mystical stories, and the public was exposed to intense propaganda as they listened in awe. Now, I want to tell you about a Christian monk, John Climacus, who, as a result of the ascetic life I mentioned earlier, locked himself in a monastery on Mount Sinai. The Ladder of Divine Ascent, which he wrote in 30 chapters, was about attaining moral perfection and was very popular in his time. All the monks of Byzantium internalized this text and regarded it as a great guide on the spiritual path. To spread Christianity, missionaries used phrases from this text wherever they went, and it was translated into almost all common languages through Nestorian monks. The Ladder of Divine Ascent describes the ascent to God through the individual. John Climacus was born in 579, 8 years after 571, and died in 649. He entered the monastery at 16 and was the abbot of the monastery when he died. It's worth considering if the Ladder of Divine Ascent reached temple sites along trade routes. Given that he lived during the dates we're interested in and was influential in Eastern churches, this detail should not be overlooked. John's text emphasizes that despair is a sin and tantamount to suicide, advocating that by embracing suffering, we can reach God. It's not difficult to imagine that John was inspired by the Old Testament. In the first chapter of Genesis, Jacob, the grandson of Abraham, dreams of a ladder erected on the earth, reaching to the heavens, with angels ascending and descending it. This ladder, according to our worldly year reckoning, takes 50,000 years to pass. The idea that despair is tantamount to suicide and its popularity in those regions reminds us of the year of sorrow in Islam and the difficult period described in John Climacus's spiritual ladder. The Arabic word Miraj means an ascent to the sky or a ladder. In the Quran, there's a surah called Al-Miraj, meaning the steps of ascent. This surah, like John Climacus's book, discusses patience. The angels and the spirit will ascend to him during a day the extent of which is 50,000 years. So be patient with gracious patience. Al-Miraj 4:5. The shared theme in these texts is patience. This icon, drawn referencing John Climacus's writings, depicts the narrative exactly. The ladder has 30 steps, angels, and the community helping priests ascend with prayers while demons try to pull them down. One might think that if John Climacus's story, dated between 579 and 649, became so popular among different tribes through the Eastern churches, could the writers of Islamic history have adapted this popular story in a different way to the story of the Prophet Muhammad, who allegedly lived between 571 and 632? Reaching nirvana aims to end our desires in this life, to dominate the ego, and the phrase dying while living refers to this. By controlling our desires and ambition, we can reach true peace. This teaching urges us to overcome our worldly greed before it consumes us. When you manage to conquer the greed within, you reach the last tree, Sidrat al-Muntaha. This is the essence of all beliefs, but it's not in the interest of rulers, kings, and political regimes. When people live a hermit life, they start questioning, which is not desirable for those in power. According to them, it's not good to think. They think for us, and we are supposed to work, not think. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, you can support me by liking, subscribing, commenting, and sharing.